Welcome to part 1 of the video. And in this video, we would be covering about the great institute of the universe. And the name is CFA, Certified Financial Analyst. Right, Certified Financial Analyst. Before I continue, let me give you a brief mythology, very brief mythology. I don't know to what extent you believe in mythology, but I do. It is said that Lord Brahma is the creator of universe. It's incorrect. He is a creator of multiverse, which means that he created more than one universe. So I fail to understand why people call him as a creator of universe. He is a creator of multiverse, which means multiple universe. As we speak, we have around 64 universe in the globe. This is according to mythology, and I believe in mythology because today's science claim that science is advanced, but we know the reality. For a human being, evaluating and reaching this 64 universe is impossible. I know that impossible is a cheap word. People don't like it, but we are busy in politics, corruption, fighting each other. The value of talent is zero. So let's take a simplistic example. During Steve Jobs, the world saw iPhone, iPad, iMac Airbook, and sequence of products. But after Steve Jobs, the world rarely saw any revolutionary product. World saw Shibu, Dogecoin as a revolutionary product. And Elon Musk presented himself as next Steve Jobs. But how closer he is to Steve Jobs, we all aware. Anyways, henceforth, we need to understand one thing, the difference between reality and fiction. That's more important. We are living in the world of fiction, not reality. And let me tell you that Lord Shiva said to Mata Parvati that eventually the fiction comes to an end, which is called pralay, as per the mythology. Fiction comes to an end. Similarly, the fiction of each individual comes to an end. It is the pralay of that individual, not the earth. Now, our fiction is that we are having a degree. If you are thinking that we are making video on the CFA and we will spare Harvard, Stanford, Kellogg, National University of Singapore, SMU, Singapore Management University, and all, then you are highly mistaken. Of course, like I said, I need time. So let's have fiction with the reality. This is reality. Janus Henderson Sovereign Debt Index report. Check, it is April 2021. I repeat, this is Janus Henderson, April 2021. Janus Henderson is one of the leading, I repeat, one of the leading hedge funds of the globe. And I doubt if people are not aware about the credentials of Janus Henderson. If not, then we are idiots, because Janus Henderson do not need any introduction, right? This is the annual report. This is the report, and I read the whole report. You can see that at many places I have marked also the my views and my opinions about the report. It is not the only report which I study. Every month, I print more than 5,000 pages and I try to go through as maximum as possible, which is irrespective of the different magazines, the newspapers which I study. And thank you to the big hedge funds like PIMCO, Vanguard, Janus Henderson, Amundi, BlackRock, Blackstone. They, on an often basis, publish their credentials in public domain, which is definitely a good practice. I know that most people do not study these credentials, and the end result, we all are aware about that. So before I continue, this is the reality, which is Janus Henderson Sovereign Debt Index. And this is fiction. CFA Level 1 Study Material, Volume 5. Title: Fixed Income, Derivatives, Alternate Investments, and Portfolio Management. This is fiction, and today I will prove this. Now let's go to the Janus Henderson, April 2021, page number 2. Page number 2. By 2020 end, which means we are in the beginning of 2022, which means around 1 year ago, the global government debt rose to $62.5 trillion. So the total government debt in the world is around $62.5 trillion. How would they pay this debt? That is a very big question to me, probably not to you. According to the same analysis, near about 9.3 trillion out of 62.5, 9.3 trillion added only in 2020, which means during the year of pandemic, the global governments, which includes United States, Europe, India, Singapore, multiple, they added 9.3 trillion. And as we speak, by end of 2020, it is 62.5 trillion. In 2022, many governments worldwide are facing exemplary fiscal discipline issue. I repeat, fiscal discipline issue, which includes Sri Lankan government, Maldives, South African government, and many other African governments, including Pakistan. In fact, very recently, many international banks raised concern about the rising debt in India. Of course, I'm not deliberating much on the budget of India, but I hope you have looked at the gross borrowings of Government of India, and I would discuss this in a separate video. Debt is rising. Now, whether this is Indian debt, Singaporean debt, Maldives, Sri Lanka, South Africa, and the so-called Joe Biden. When the debt rises, it ends up creating two important issues for not only for that country, but also for the globe, which is the issue of refinancing. Alternatively, the issue of sovereign debt or sovereign crisis. So let me give you a very simplistic example. Bank of England few days ago rose their rate by 25 bips. Although 4 out of 9 committee members were looking for 50 bips hike. And the intelligent idea behind this hike is to mitigate the inflation. This is the simpler story of Akbar and Birbal, whereby Birbal put the khichdi at the very top and having fire at the bottom. And Akbar asked, what the hell it is going on? How would the fire reach towards the khichdi? And Birbal replied, how would that sadhu got the heat when the lamp was many kilometers away from him? And Akbar realized his mistake. This is called policy error. But nonetheless, we are not here discussing about policy error. Now the 25 bips hike which they delivered, this 25 bips hike end up having more refinancing cost. England is also having a huge debt in the books. Huge debt in the books. Now, I would like to study one important concept and then we would move to the link this knowledge to the other knowledge called CFA. Of course, there is such a thing as too much government debt. Through the goalpost of debt sustainability have moved a long way in the last decade. A host of factors came into play, such as level of interest rate, demographics, or whether the government is locked into spending plans that can never be covered by its income. That can never be covered by its income, a so called structural deficit. See you in the part 2. But remember, structural deficit. See you in the part 2.